Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I hope you all are fine and staying safe and happy at your homes. I am your GK teacher, Miss Farheen, and I welcome you all to your GK class. So, my dear students, take out your GK books and let's start our today's lesson. Today, we will do the lesson number 3 of unit number 4, and the name of our unit is Neighborhood. So, my dear students, in the previous lessons, lesson number 1 and lesson number 2, we have studied about what are neighbors, what is neighborhood, and what are the different places which are in your neighborhood. And you were able to locate them on a pictorial map. Now, quickly answer a few questions. What kind of places do you have in your neighborhood? Quickly name them. Shops, street, houses, schools, playground, parks. So these are the places which are included in your neighborhood. Okay. Now, my dear students, let's quickly look at the do an activity. Okay. This is a story about 3 goats. This is a story of 3 goats. They used to live in a grassland. They used to live in a grassland जहाँ पर बहुत सारी घास होती है. So, what they did, they made houses for them. The first goat made a house made up of straws, and it was called a hut. Then, the second goat made a house made up of mud. Can you see the mud house? Yes, this is the mud house. And the third goat made a house made up of cement and bricks. It was a bungalow. It was called a bungalow. So they made 3 houses: hut, mud house, and bungalow. And they were very happy. So one day, what happened? A wolf came. A big, bad, hungry wolf. And he was very hungry and he was very scary. When the goats saw him, they started running and they ran into their house. The wolf knocked on the house of the first goat, and it was made up of straws, so he easily destroyed the house. The goat ran into the mud house. Then he knocked on the mud house, and then he easily destroyed it also. Both the first goat and second goat ran into the bungalow and they closed the door. The wolf tried to destroy it, but it was very tough, hard and strong, made up of cement and bricks. He was unable to destroy it, and then he sadly returned. He was hungry and he couldn't eat the goats, and he ran back into the jungle. The goats lived happily ever after. So, my dear students, in this story, I hope you have enjoyed it. So, in this story, we studied about 3 kinds of houses. A hut, which was made up of straws, जो कि तिनकों से और लकड़ी से बना हुआ था. Then we studied about a mud house, which was made up of mud, जो मिट्टी से बना हुआ था. And then we studied about bungalow, which was made up of bricks and cement. So, in today's lecture, we will study about different types of houses which you see in your daily life. Now, let's quickly answer some questions. What was the first house made up of? It was made up of straws, and it was called a hut. What is a straw house called? It is called a hut. What was the second house made up of? It was made up of mud. And what was the third house made up of? It was made up of bricks and cement. And what it is called? It is called a bungalow. So, my dear students, now let's quickly look at the SLOs which we will cover today, which are given on page number 29. So, we have covered all these SLOs, and today we will cover this SLO, and by the end of the lesson you will identify different kinds of houses: bungalow, mud house, hut and apartments. Okay? Now let's quickly look at the Islamic perspective. Whoever believes in Allah and the last day must do well to his neighbors. So as we are discussing more and more about the neighbors, हम अपने पड़ोसियों के बारे में डिस्कस कर रहे हैं एंड वी आर डिस्कसिंग अबाउट आवर नेबरहुड, जिसमें आपको आज हम पढ़ेंगे कि मुख्तलिफ तरह के घर कैसे होते हैं. लेकिन सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट बात यह है कि आपको हमेशा अपने नेबर्स के साथ बहुत अच्छा सलूक करना है. ठीक है, बहुत अच्छे तरीके से उनके साथ पेश आना है. वेरी गुड. Now, my dear students, some pre-reading questions before starting our reading. What kinds of houses are present in your neighborhood? So, my dear students, आपके घर के इर्द गिर्द किस तरह के घर मौजूद हैं? There are mud houses, huts, or bungalows or apartments. What kind of houses do you see daily in your around you? We usually see the houses made up of bricks and cements, which we call as bungalows. Okay? Now, my dear students, please open page number 31 in your books. You can pause the video and open page number 31. I hope everybody has done it. Now, look at different pictures here. This is made up of cement and bricks, so it is a bungalow. This is a doomed shape house. This shape is a doomed shape. And it is made up of straws and wood, so it is a hut. So this is made up of mud, and it is a mud house. And a tall building with many small houses in it is called an apartment. So this is apartments. These are apartments. So now read with me. Put your fingers where I'm reading. Kinds of houses. A big cemented, made up of cement, that means house is called a bungalow. A big cemented house is called bungalow. A doomed shape house made of straws is called hut. This is doomed shape house. This shape is called doomed. And it is made up of straws. यानी कि तिनकों से और लकड़ियों से बना हुआ होता है. It is called a hut. A doomed shape house made of straws is called hut. A house made of mud is called a mud house. It is small house. A house made of mud is called a mud house. It is small house. Apartments are many small living sections in one large building. Apartments are many small living sections in one large building. This is a large building and there are small living sections in it, and these are called, each one is called apartment. Okay? So my dear students, क्योंकि हम neighbors और neighborhood के बारे में पढ़ रहे थे, इसी वजह से आपको पता होना चाहिए कि वहाँ पर कौन से घर किस चीज़ से बने हुए हैं. Okay? So, you can pause the video and you can go out and you can have a look in your neighborhood that what kinds of house, what are the different kinds of houses you have in your neighborhood. Okay? Now, my dear students, please open page number 34. We have already done the picture reading. We will do exercise number C now. Identify and name the kinds of houses. So, there are pictures given here. You have to name them, okay? So, a tall building with small living sections is called a apartment. So, write down apartment over here. Let me do the first one for you. You will do the rest yourself. Apartment. A-P-A-R-T-M-E-N-T. Apartment. Now the next house, made up of mud. Made up of mud. Let me correct the T for you. Now, a house made up of mud is called a mud house. Write it down. Then on page number 35, a big house made up of cements and brick is called a, very good, bungalow. Then a house made up of straws and wood is called a hut. Very good. Now, my dear students, on page number 33, there is listening and speaking assessment. I will ask question number 7 today, which says that what kind of houses do you live at? So tell me, what kind of house do you have? Yes, for example, I live in a house made up of cement and bricks and it is called a bungalow. Okay? Next, question number 8. Name some kinds of houses. So, hut, mud house, apartments, bungalow. These are some kinds of houses. Very nice and easy. So, my dear students, now let's quickly move towards the homework. So, homework activity you will do, it is given on page number 31. In what kind of house do you live at? Draw your house and color it. So, you will draw your house over here. And you will also write what is the kind of house. And you will have to color it also. Okay, this is your first homework activity number 2. You will do it in your notebook. Next, I will give you a worksheet which will be provided to you by your teacher. Okay, let me erase all the lines for you so you can easily look at the worksheet. Okay. Okay, my dear students. Here, this is the crossword worksheet number 2. This will be provided to you by your teacher in print form as a homework. Okay. What you need to do is, here are instructions given below. For example, and you have to finish them by guessing the name, and you have to do, also the pictures are given here. So, many small living sections in one large building. So, number 1. So, many small sections in one large building is called, let me do the first one for you. You will do the rest of them. Okay. Apartment. Okay. Second one, house made of straws. Very good. Pause the video and quickly finish it. You can take help from the pictures. And now you can check it from the solved worksheet. Okay. This is the solved worksheet. Quickly check it. First one is apartment. Then comes the hut. Then comes the mud house, and number 4th, bungalow. Okay. So this is the solved worksheet. I hope you have done it already. So this was your homework, and the worksheet will be provided to you by your teacher. Okay, printed worksheet. Now, my dear students, what have I learned today? There are different kinds of houses: bungalow, hut, mud house, apartment. Okay. Now, what kind of house do you live at? आप किस तरह के घर में रहते हैं? Quickly tell me. Very good. Now, name some kinds of houses. कुछ तरह के घरों के नाम बताइए जो आपने अभी पढ़े हैं. We have just read them. For example, bungalow, mud house, apartments, and hut. So these are different kinds of houses that we have. They are made up of different things, and we have just read about them. Okay. I hope you have done your worksheet, your homework activity. You have done your writing page. So you have done all the activities today, and I hope you have enjoyed the story also. Keep everybody around you safe. Do good to your neighbors, and thank you. Allah Hafiz.